I'm Dr. Norm Thibault. I'm the clinical director for the Crossroads program. I've been with the program for going on about 4 years. I'm also the primary therapist in the program, which means most of the students, male and female in the program, will work with me here in the office. The typical at the Crossroads student is actually, there's two types of typical students. One is transitioning from either a wilderness program or a residential treatment program, and they're not ready to go home, or the home environment's not conducive to their success, and so for whatever reason they'll come to us to start gaining the skills to transfer what they've learned in wilderness or the other treatment center and apply it in their lives. And what we try to do is focus on executive functioning skills to help them prepare for complete independence, so that they don't have to look to their parents or other caregivers to take care of them. The second kind of student is someone who has graduated high school or has not yet graduated high school but is of the age, who's really struggled in making the transition to adulthood, meaning that they've either tried college, a bit of college, and struggled through it for whatever emotional or other reason, and they just haven't found success there, or they've kind of put off school, they're struggling at home, parents are having a hard time getting them off their butts to get out there and get to work. Most of the students we have had previous therapists, have dealt with a few different issues such as depression, anxiety, but have not really had to take a look at independence, have really not had to take a look at doing things completely on their own. So we try to facilitate helping them launch into that so that they can see they can do it. They don't need to have their parents to be successful. We are very client-centered, and so it absolutely depends on what the client brings to us. Obviously, if someone is depressed, if they're dealing with a major depressive disorder or a major anxiety disorder, part of the treatment milieu will include the individual therapy, some family therapy. We use a cognitive behavioral approach. We have a great arrangement with a psychiatrist's office here in town, so that we'll get them in to see if there's any medication interventions that need to be done, or monitoring if it's already been started. And so part of the clinical program is cognitive behavioral. It's also behavioral. It's solution focused. For someone who presents with a substance abuse problem, some of that might include step work. It could include a variety of modalities in dealing with substance abuse for those who don't do steps. Other issues, if there's personality disorders, on occasion we'll get those, and that's more of a long-term behavioral approach, or a dialectic behavioral therapy. There's a whole variety of interventions that you can use, but the idea being mainly that we try to specifically focus on what the client presents with. Part of a solution-focused approach and a strengths-based approach takes a look at the fact that, when we look at someone who comes into a clinic, oftentimes we look at weaknesses, deficits, areas of concern, rather than focusing on areas of success in their life. And so the program really does try to put an emphasis on, look, here's what you do well, let's take advantage of this skill set and utilize it to your betterment. Because too often, a lot of the young people we see have already tried some things and haven't been successful. And so they're really discouraged, they're demoralized, and they don't believe that they can do it, especially without mom and dad's help or a caregiver's help. And so part of what we do is try to take a look at shoring up some of these weaknesses, but that's not all we focus on. We really do focus on strengths, and here's what you do well, let's take advantage of it. Let's try to create an environment or an internship or a situation where we can tap into some of those strengths, and you can see that you can get small victories.